All right. Welcome back to CEO Money. I'm not going to scare you too much in this segment, but we've got a little dose of reality. I'm here with Bo Sears from Weil Helium. Bo's going to give us really some shocking information, surprise to me, about our government in helium. You know, he's written a book on the subject. He's an expert on the subject. He even testified to Congress about the subject. Something we don't think about. We have helium balloons for our kids. That's what we think of helium, but it's a lot more. Bo, welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yes. So, Bo, help me out here because I didn't know that there was all these other things that helium's used for. Tell me why helium is, well, not why it's so important, I guess. Yes, tell me why it's so important. Then we'll talk about the government and their involvement. But tell me a little bit about helium.
Well, don't feel bad. Not many people know anything about helium. It's a commodity most commonly associated with balloons and blimps. And what most people don't understand is that without helium, MRI machines don't function, particle accelerators don't work, fiber optics don't work, silicon wafer manufacturing doesn't work. All of these high-tech industries simply cannot function without this valuable commodity.
How come nobody is talking about? They talk about silver, copper, everything else being in our electronics and in products today, but nobody goes, yeah, helium.
Well, it's a commodity that is ingrained in their manufacturing process, and since there are thousands of pieces in the process, helium is very seldom understood. People just don't understand that it is used in these particular applications.
So I can go down to Walmart today. I can buy this 10-pound thing that I go home and I fill my kids' helium balloons up with. Am I making a mistake? Am I wasting a precious commodity here? Tell me what the heck's going on with our federal government, and they're controlling a lot of our helium?
They are. The United States government got into the helium business after World War I, when helium could be used to fill dirigibles and blimps. And they stayed in the business until 1996, when Clinton signed the Helium Privatization Act, which effectively said that the feds need to be out of the helium business. And so you and I, as U.S. taxpayers, are holding on to this Helium Reserve that's being sold off at artificially low prices and sold to an oligopoly of major industrial gas companies.
So help me out why they're selling it at artificially low prices.
Well, when Clinton signed the law in 96, there was enough helium in the world. The U.S. Reserve was supposed to be the helium resource of last resort. And shortly after he signed that into law, the demand exploded, especially in Asia. And soon it became the cheapest helium anywhere on the globe. And so the price was set, just a pure formulaic, artificially low price, just to get the United States out of the helium business.
Well, did they not think about other manufacturers that pull helium out of the ground, that it's just going to devastate the industry?
Their primary concern was making sure that government agencies get their helium. For instance, NASA is a gigantic user of helium. Mm-hmm. Without helium, rockets don't launch. And the Department of Energy, Department of Defense, there's lots of government entities like low-temperature physics laboratories and things like that. And
all right,
so that's their primary concern.
Tell me about, you went and testified in front of Congress to talk about this exact problem. What happened? Why?
Well, the feds soon realized that they are indeed squandering this valuable commodity. And what I testified about was how to bring more helium to the United States so that we are not reliant upon Qatar and Algeria. And as you know, Qatar right now is going through some geopolitical concerns.
Right.
And so, we just need to make sure that the U.S. has enough helium to handle all of our government needs and manufacturing needs.
So that's all we need to do is become dependent on another foreign country, as we did with oil, and you see where that got us.
That's right. That's right. In Qatar, they signed a rapprochement with Iran, so that's a big problem as well.
All right, so you told me earlier that we're running out of helium. When do we run out at this pace?
Well, we're not really running out of helium per se because there's more out there. You just got to find it and spend drilling dollars to get it. But the biggest resource today is the federal government, and that will be gone by 2021. And so once that's gone and there is no reserves to make up for that lost balance, we're going to start seeing some shortages. Your kids' birthday balloons are going to go way up in price.
Well, that's no fun.
Indeed.
All right. So to drill helium, can you still get it? There's some in the ground. It's just the U.S. reserves are empty. I mean, is there going to be a problem here?
Well,
drilling price is going to go through the roof.
Yeah, well, that's the big problem. What my company is doing is we're actually spending drilling dollars looking for helium, and it's challenging, it's risky, and there's not a lot of players in the space. I'm one of 4 other players, and so we have to canvass the mid-continent region of the United States and Canada, and just try to bring more resources to the end user.
So has our government wised up now, and they're just not selling it off for pennies?
They have adjusted the price somewhat to reflect more market-based pricing. However, there's just not enough helium left in that reserve to really make it have a difference. So in 2021, which is basically going to be here tomorrow, they will be out of the business entirely, and it's going to be up to private companies like ours that's going to bring new supply to the market.
That's Weil Helium. And tell me about kind of your drilling efforts and what are you doing today as far as a company?
Well, our principal thrust right now is in southern Saskatchewan and Alberta, Canada. We are the largest helium producer in Canada, and we have several projects in the United States as well. And our MO is basically to locate and drill for places where known helium concentrations exist. And if we find a meaningful resource, we'll install a processing facility and sell that helium to any one of the major industrial gas companies where they distribute it to end users.
Listen, we have to wrap this up. It's been very informative. If I'm an investor outside, is there a possibility I can play in this arena? There's very few people in it. How do they reach Weil Helium?
Well, that's a great question. Right now, the only investment opportunity for helium is in the stock market is the large industrial gas companies, but helium is such a small component of their overall business that you're not really investing in helium. But
is there a play with your company?
Yeah, we are raising we're raising private funds right now, and
how do they reach your company?
Well, visit our website, and you can contact me or any of the principals of my group. My website is www.weil-group.com.
There you have it, straight from Bo Sears, Weil Helium. He gave us the true inside look into our helium situation in the U.S. Thank you so much for being part of the show.